Hey, so it's been a while. I've been getting more into woodworking lately. You can see on my nice little workshop here. And today I'm going to be trying out a benchtop jointer for the first time. Woodstarter sent me their 6-inch benchtop joiner to test out as a beginner in woodworking. As a beginner, a little bit intimidated by the benchtop jointer. I've used planers before, but this is the first time that I'll be using a benchtop jointer. So let's give it a go. I've never been a fan of unboxing videos. I don't really want to watch someone take a product out of a box. It's pretty boring, but this is the box that it came in. Just a cardboard box, had some styrofoam inside. All the parts came in little individual plastic bags, all the screws, the adjustable fence and the blade guard all came separate. You got to install them yourself, as well as the dust collection on the back. Let's just skip the unboxing and get that out of the way. So here it is, fully assembled. We've got the adjustable blade guard here, goes up and down, push screw, twist screw, slide it back and forth to expose the blades. The adjustable fence, which I have not very tight apparently. Also came with a wrench to do the adjustments on the back, which I'll show in a little bit more detail. But all in all, it's pretty compact, doesn't take up too much space. Pretty lightweight, I would say maybe 15, 20 pounds at most. The instructions were relatively straightforward, some kind of weird phrasing in there, but really not a big deal. You can kind of use common sense to figure out how to attach the blade guard and the adjustable fence on the back, as well as the dust pipe to expel all the wood shavings. You can figure out how to do it. I believe in you. So you've got the adjustable fence, which goes from 90 up to 100 and, I guess it goes farther, but it says 135 degrees. The adjustable cutter head guard, twist knob, you can raise and lower it for different thicknesses of wood, as well as move it out of the way or closer to the fence. One thing about this adjustable guard, at least from watching some of the other videos that I've seen on YouTube, is that it's not a spring-loaded mechanism that moves out of the way as you're pushing the board through. It's static. You just kind of adjust it for however you want. I'm not sure if that's a good or a bad thing. I haven't used another jointer with that spring-mounted triangle-looking safety guard that goes over the blades, but this seems relatively safe. So before using it, I did read through the user manual and do some of the safety checks. You gotta make sure that the fence is square, that the blades are level with the outfeed side of the table, and just in general that the knives are sharp. It feels pretty sharp to me. I think it's okay. You also need to make sure that the fence is square, assuming you want to do a 90-degree cut. So I had to buy a small machinist square so I could check that. Put that against the infeed table and the fence. Just loosen these bolts back here, both sides. Tighten that up as well. For an adjustable fence, I guess that's kind of a trade-off of being able to do it at an angle. I've never seen anyone use a joiner at an angle, but this does rotate to 135 degrees. So I guess the trade-off of that is that you have to make sure that it is square every time that you use it, which not really that big of a deal. Just keep your square nearby. These blades should just barely tap the outfeed side. And they're pretty close, but as a beginner, I don't really know the difference. Yeah, so the blade is just barely touching the square off the outfeed side, so that seems perfect. One other thing that I found in other videos was to make sure that the infeed and the outfeed table are both waxed. They didn't mention that in the user manual, but it seems like that would be a good idea to make sure that the wood can smooth slightly across so you don't get it caught on anything. So I'm just going to use a little paste wax here. So we'll just apply some light wax in a circular pattern. Get a little on the outfeed side as well. And I suppose we'll wax the fence too. Let's see why not. We also want to make sure we are safe while doing this, so I've got my safety goggles, which do fit over my glasses, believe it or not, earmuffs, and 2 push blocks because I don't want to lose a fingertip. That sounds like a bad idea. I So one question I had was that what does a jointer actually do? I've never used one. My grandpa was a woodworker. He didn't have one. He had a planer, but I didn't really know what a jointer did. So what a jointer is going to do is, as you pass this piece of wood from the infeed to the outfeed, the outfeed table is slightly higher than the infeed table. The blades are parallel with the outfeed table. So as you pass it over, it's going to take a cut off of the bottom of the board. And after a few passes, you should come away with a completely flat machined face right here on your board. Then once you have this flat, you can put it up against the adjustable fence. Do the same thing with the edge here. And then that will leave you with a perfect right angle and two flat sides. Then you would take this over to your planer. You would put the flat side down because that's what the planer uses as a reference. The planer would shave off wood from the top and make it parallel to the bottom face. So you'd have two parallel faces, both flat, one completely flat edge face. Then you could take this over to your table saw, use the now flat edge against the fence on your table saw and cut off the non-jointed side. Then you would have 4 right angles, 4 completely flat sides. Both of the faces and both of the edges would be in parallel. That's my understanding. If I'm incorrect, go ahead and leave a comment below because I'm a beginner, I'm still learning. So I've got my scrap piece of 2x4 here, and we're gonna use this as our test piece for the jointer to bring it into square. I don't have a planer, so we'll only be able to do 2 sides. Just a regular 2x4, kind of rounded over corners, rounded over sides, and we're going to make this this face, probably this edge because it doesn't have a knot. We're going to joint both of these sides. So here we go. First pass with the benchtop jointer, applying light pressure with the push blocks, moving that pressure over to the outfeed table once it passes over the blades. First pass was pretty good, took off some of that glue and other stuff from the face. Second pass, wow, look at all that sawdust. Again, putting pressure on the outfeed side as soon as it clears the blades. Turned out pretty well, I would say. We'll move on to the edge. So with this one, we're applying force horizontally with that push block that's going over the blades, which felt a little bit sketchy at first, but kind of got used to it with the next couple passes, figured out my method for putting the board through on its edge. Turned out well. I don't know about you, but I don't see any daylight coming through there. Kind of hard to see on the camera, but in person, checking with my machinist square, allegedly calibrated, it looks pretty good. So one unfortunate thing that did happen, I noticed this ridge going down my board, and it turns out that I hit a nail that was embedded in the 2x4, which caused a little bit of a chip in the blade. Should be able to sand it out. But it is kind of annoying. Luckily, Woodstarter does sell replacement blades, so shouldn't be an issue. So all in all, I think that turned out fairly well, with the exception of nicking my blade with this nail, which is unfortunate. We did end up with a pretty square 90-degree corner on the scrap 2x4. I did try moving the adjustable fence at an angle as well, just to kind of see, but I mean, it did work. It did take a little bit off, maybe a 32nd of an inch, but I can't really see many use cases for doing that. I guess if you wanted to chamfer the side of something, you could do that, but a router would be a much better tool. Even a table saw set with the blade at an angle, I think would be a much better tool for doing that. If there's some other use for that I don't know of, please let me know below, because I'm really not sure. I'll probably only use it 90 degrees straight up for jointing boards. For someone just starting out, a beginner in woodworking like me, this benchtop joiner from Woodstarter seems like a pretty good option. It's pretty simple to use once you get the feel for it and get a little bit more comfortable. You don't want to get too complacent with it. You want to respect the machine, but once you use it a few times and get a little more comfortable with it, it does a pretty good job. I like that it's pretty compact, it's movable, it's lightweight, not heavy at all. So if you've got a small shop, you're tired of dealing with uneven or warped boards, or you're processing raw lumber for your woodworking, I think that this is a great option. Would I recommend it for beginners? Well, I'm a beginner, I like it, so yeah, I would recommend it to other beginners as well. Thanks for watching. I'm also going to continue working with Woodstarter on a few more projects. The next video that we have that I'm working with Woodstarter on, I gave a little bit of a hint earlier, but it's a complementary tool to the jointer that I think a lot of people are going to be interested in. So once that arrives, I'm going to get the video out as quickly as I can. If you want to see more videos like this, don't forget to like and subscribe. I know everyone says that on YouTube. I think it's kind of annoying. This might be the only time that I ever say that. I'm just not going to do an outro. We're not doing outros. Forget it. But if you want to get your hands on this jointer, head over to woodstarter.com and check out their selection. They have a jointer. They have a lot of other tools as well that I haven't gotten my hands on. Lathe, they have a belt and a disc sander, paint spray gun, jigsaw. They also have a big selection of CNC and laser engraving machines, which I'm really interested in. Hope I can get one of those and do a video on that as well. Stay tuned for more woodworking videos. Thanks.